Morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Um, it's time for another brief video to educate you about open relationships. And today we're going to talk a little bit about common terms that you might hear and that are helpful to understand if you're looking into the swinging lifestyle. All the different types of open have different terms that kind of apply more likely to them, though some tend to overlap depending on people and their use of the terms. But this will give you an idea of kind of the common terms that you're going to generally hear if you're engaging in swinging lifestyle. One of the common terms you're going to hear is terms that tend to be very playful. When people get together and have sex with each other, they tend to refer to it as playing. Or they'll call getting together for playtime, or they'll refer to their more casual lovers as playmates. When you think about it, it makes sense. I mean, when you're dealing with recreational sexual activities versus sex for procreation, sex is adult playtime, so it makes sense to refer to it that way. Some other terms that oftentimes you'll hear couples use will be Softswap and Fullswap. And sometimes people don't know what that means when they first get into it. If I had more time, I would get into this very funny story of how my husband first asked me the difference of the terms between Softswap and Fullswap. But I might have to save that for another time just for time constraints. But Softswap basically means that two or more couples are getting together and engaging with each other, and the various sexual activities such as kissing, touching, manual stimulation, oral sex usually tend to be on the table with Softswap, while intercourse tends to be something that you remain for your own partner and not something that you do with other couples. So that's generally what people refer to when they say they're a Softswap couple. They don't have intercourse with anyone other than each other, but they'll do other types of sexual activities. Oops, shaking the whole table here. So then the opposite, of course, is Fullswap. Fullswap means that pretty much everything is on the table, whether it be oral sex, intercourse, pretty much the whole 9 yards. Now, there are exceptions to that. Some couples will say that certain activities they say for each other or are too intimate to share with anyone else. For example, some may say that they don't kiss anyone other than each other, but they'll have sex. So it's kind of important to understand and maybe to clarify with someone ahead of time what they mean by Fullswap or Softswap, and what activities are okay for them and what are off limits. Another term that you may hear would be same room or separate room. This usually means for couples who they may prefer to only play with another couple or even a single person in the same room together. So all in the same bed, they don't separate. Where a lot of couples will, when they swap with another couple, they will separate and one half will go to one room and one half will go to another room. Some people prefer that just because it can be less distracting, as well as it can be a lot of emotional issues to have to literally watch your partner have sex with someone else. It's one thing to know about it intellectually. It's another thing to physically watch it. And some people, that's too difficult for them. So they'd much rather prefer separate rooms than same rooms. A common term you'll hear is called unicorn. Now, a unicorn refers to a single woman in the swinging lifestyle. It's oftentimes a lot of couples are looking for a single woman to join them in a threesome. And single women often can be more difficult to find in that venue, particularly traditionally. I think these days it's probably getting more common to find single women in the swinging lifestyle than it used to be. But that's where the term comes from. It's something rare that a lot of couples would look for. The term hall pass or permission slip is used by couples where one or the other, it's a way of saying the other one has the permission of within their relationship to be sexual with someone and the other one's not there. Either they're at a club or they're at a party and the other one can go off with someone and have sex and it's perfectly okay. Or sometimes it can even be that they have separate dates. And saying that you have a hall pass or a permission slip is that way of saying that, yes, my partner's okay with this. I'm not doing anything behind their back. So that everybody's on the same page and that everybody knows that things are consensual. A very common term you'll hear is the term vanilla. Vanilla refers to people who are not in open relationships. Usually it's meant as just a terminology to say, general monogamous people who, it's not necessarily meant as an insult, though sometimes it gets used that way. But usually it's not meant that way. Usually it's just meant as more of a defining way of understanding when we're talking about open relationship people versus exclusive relationship people. But sometimes it can kind of get used as a little bit of a jab or an insult. So sometimes it can't get used that way. And another common term you're going to hear would be offsite or onsite clubs. And that's more when you're talking about various clubs that you can go to in different cities that will host parties for swingers to meet, get together. And an offsite club is a club, it could be just even a regular bar, where people get together, they meet. There's no nudity, there's no actual sex there. You have to meet people and then you go somewhere else to actually go play. An on-site club is a place where they actually have spaces within the club. They have their social areas and then they have their play spaces. And so that you can't actually there go and play. And sometimes they're private play spaces, and sometimes they're very open, particularly when people like to be exhibitionistic, or for people who like to be voyeurs, who like to sit and watch other people. So that's kind of what they mean by that. So that's a short list of terms for swinging. I'm sure there are many, many others. And like I said, there are others that overlap. So next Monday, we'll go over terms for polyamory and give you some of the top terms for that. On Wednesday, we're going to talk about myths of relationships and how they can affect people when they make that transition from monogamy to open. And again, if you're interested in joining the private Facebook group, A Successful Transition from Monogamy to Open, please just click join, and I would be happy to have you be part of our group. There's a lot of articles and discussions that are going on that you can listen to and learn from and or join in and be a part of, whichever you prefer. So until Wednesday, have a great day, and I will see you then. Thank you. Bye-bye.